Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, the lead manager in Trump's first impeachment trial, joins us now. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
It is January 6th, and when you think about it, which moment comes to mind first for you?
Well, I think the moment that Jamie Raskin so powerfully talked about today, and that is I was on the House floor with Jamie and listening to these insurrectionists battering the doors, breaking the glass to get into the chamber. It is an unforgettable and terrifying sound, and one that none of us that experienced it will ever forget.
What were you afraid of happening if they made it into the room with you there?
Well, I had a number of members, including Republican members, tell me they can't see you. Don't let them see you. You're in a different situation. And so I felt like I was a marked man. And who knows what would happen if they were able to breach that chamber and if those Capitol Police hadn't acted so heroically. So it obviously could have been much, much worse. And as it was just awful. With 5 people dead and the citadel of our democracy is so horribly defaced.
So to feel what you did in that moment and then to live the perfidy of watching so many members of your House stand up to decertify the election, which was really just a nod to the insurrection, and now to see what's happening in this trial, how do you make sense of it?
Well, it's hard to make sense of. And as those events were going on in the House chamber and my House colleagues in the GOP picked up right where they left off after that failed insurrection, we're still trying to overturn the results of the election. Those members, unlike a lot of that mob, those members on that House floor knew that what the president had been pushing out was lies. They had helped push out the same lies. And so they had a great deal of culpability themselves. Watching that 13-minute video presentation that the House put together, it couldn't be more obvious. This is the gravest constitutional crime in the history of our country. And that we would have so many GOP senators vote effectively to not hear the evidence, not proceed to trial, to have the Senate leader say, I'm not going to begin the trial while the president is in office, and then vote to say we can't continue the trial now because the president is out of office. That is not consistent with constitutional duty, not in my view. But that issue has now been voted on. The trial goes on. And I think the power of the case the managers put on will only grow.
What do you think of witnesses? We've made a point on this show of bringing the lawyers on for different people who are accused of more serious crimes that day. And they say to a man, look, this is what we needed to do. Trump made it very clear. We have to fight for this. This was being stolen from us, and they were in that place, and we had to go let them know one way or another, you're going to abide by what we think is right. Would you put those people on to make that point? You're not going to get the loser of the election. He's not going to show his face. But would you put those people on?
Well, I have every confidence Jamie Raskin will make that strategic decision and make it the right way. But I can tell you what he will be weighing, or at least I think what he will be weighing. In that video, and I'm sure there's more where that came from that we'll see during the trial, you hear people in the crowd talking about why they're there, that they're there because the president told them to be there. How much additional power does it add to bring in those lawyers, for example? And how much does it risk distracting from the rest of the case because then the defense may want to bring in other witnesses to rebut them? That's the calculation that will need to be made. But I would certainly expect that we are going to see, like we did today, powerful video of the president lying in the weeks leading up to the election, lying about the election, marshaling people to assemble that day on the 6th, intervening with state officials, intervening with that Secretary of State in Georgia and audio from that tape recording. This president trying to cheat in every way, leading to the final effort to steal this election on January 6th. That is really powerful stuff. And I think the House managers will make the decision. Do they add to that power by bringing in live witnesses, or do they diffuse it by allowing defense witnesses to come in and rebut it. And I'm confident they'll make the right judgment.
You know, I was just on the phone with my son. And I said, make sure you're watching the show because I hope you never see this again, where people who are 100% aware of what happened on January 6th and why it happened. I mean, it's not a subtle situation, that they are thinking of giving a pass to the president. What do you want those men and women in the Senate to know?
Well, I want them to know this. The job is just not that important. If the worry here is losing a primary election, there are worse things in the world. And to me, a worse thing in the world is not to do your constitutional duty, to let down the country, to not fulfill your oath, to leave the chamber whenever we leave Congress and regret that we didn't have the courage and the strength to do the right thing. That, to me, would be the worst outcome. And I would also say, just as we worried during the first trial that if senators recognized he was guilty and yet voted to acquit, that it would recur, that he would cheat again. If they don't disqualify this president after committing the most egregious constitutional crime in history, and he runs again, we will fully have to expect he will cheat, he will lie, and he will incite again. And he will put this country through hell again. They have the power to stop that. And they should use that power because it's consistent with their duty.
Their party will never be the same if that happens. May not be as it is. Congressman Adam Schiff, thank God you're okay. A horrible thing for you to have to live through. And that goes for the 6th and this. This cannot be easy for you to watch. Be well and thank you.